I never thought I'd bury a multi-million-dollar deal in a shallow grave out back of the old barn. But that's exactly what I did the night I caught my boss screwing me over for the umpteenth time. The shovel hit pay dirt, literal dirt, mixed with the shattered remnants of my life's work. And as I piled on the earth, I whispered a promise to the stars. She'd pay, not just with money, but with everything she held dear. By dawn, the headlines were already whispering my name, and Karen Whitaker, that bloated queen of corporate cutthroats, had no idea her empire was about to crumble under the weight of her own greed. You know that feeling when the world tilts just a little too far, and suddenly you're staring down the barrel of a betrayal, so cold it freezes your blood? That's how it hit me on a crisp October morning in 2023, right there in the heart of Montana's Big Sky country. I'd poured my soul into Willow Creek Ranch, 12,000 acres of prime grazing land, wild rivers snaking through aspen groves, and enough history etched into those weathered fence posts to make any red-blooded American choke up with pride. It wasn't just dirt and cows. It was my legacy, built from the sweat of my daddy's hands and the endless nights I'd spent mending barbed wire under a moon that felt like it was mocking me. I was Jake Harlan, 42 years old, born and bred on that spread. My folks had scraped together the deed back in '68, turning a patch of nothing into a working ranch that supplied beef to half the steakhouses in Billings. By the time I took over in my 20s after Dad's heart gave out during a blizzard, it was thriving. Organic herds, ecotourism, side hustle with city folk paying top dollar to glamp in teepees. Hell, we'd even won awards from the Montana Stock Growers Association. But running a place like that solo? It meant partners. Enter Whitaker Enterprises, the shiny conglomerate out of Denver that specialized in streamlining family ops into profit machines. Karen Whitaker wasn't just the CEO. She was the face of it all, plump as a prize hog at the county fair, with a smile that could curdle milk and eyes like a hawk spotting a lame calf. Folks called her a Choa Karen behind her back, not because she lorded over some suburban cul-de-sac with rules about lawn ornaments, but because she treated every deal like her personal kingdom, fining you for breathing wrong if it didn't align with her bylaws. She'd swooped in 5 years ago with a partnership offer. They'd handle distribution, marketing, the works in exchange for 40% equity. Sounded fair on paper. I signed, shook her manicured hand in that glass tower overlooking the Platte, and figured we'd both win. Boy, was I green. At first, it was golden, orders poured in, checks cleared faster than a jackrabbit on meth. Karen would fly up quarterly, all pearls and power suits, cooing over the calves like she gave a damn. "Jake, honey, this is the American dream right here," she'd say, her voice syrupy, southern drawl clashing with her Yankee boardroom vibe. She'd inherited the company from her daddy, some oil baron who'd struck it rich in the Dakotas, but she'd pivoted to agribusiness, turning ranches into sustainable assets. Sustainable, my ass. It was all about flipping properties for quick cash, squeezing every drop from the land before moving on. The cracks showed slow, like frost creeping over a windshield. First, it was efficiency audits, her team of slick MBAs and khakis demanding I cut staff, switch to cheaper feed from overseas. Then came the expansion proposals, subdivide a chunk for luxury cabins, pipe in water from the creek for a golf course. I pushed back, polite at first. "Karen, this ain't Denver. Folks come here for the quiet, not putt-putt." She'd laugh it off, pat my arm like I was a kid throwing a tantrum. But her eyes? They hardened, calculating. By summer 23, I was drowning in red ink. Drought had hit hard. Rivers down to trickles. Hay prices through the roof. Whitaker's support dried up faster than the creeks. They withheld advances, citing market volatility. I scraped by on personal loans, sold off the old tractor Grandpa swore by. That's when the whispers started. Karen was shopping the ranch. Not partnering, selling. To some faceless hedge fund out of New York, the kind that turns farmland into data centers or fracking sites. I confronted her over Zoom one muggy August afternoon, my kitchen table littered with unpaid bills. "Karen, what's this I hear about bids?" She was in her office, framed by floor-to-ceiling windows, sipping something green from a mason jar. Kale smoothie, probably, to offset the 3-egg omelets she scarfed at board meetings. "Jake, Darlin, it's all above board. We're exploring options to maximize value. You know the business. Her face filled the screen, jowls quivering as she leaned in, that fake concern wrinkle between her brows. Options? My name's on the deed. You can't sell without me. A pause, then that smile, the one that said she'd already lawyered up. Sweetie, read the fine print. Clause 17b. In event of financial distress, Whitaker holds right of first refusal and disposition authority. You're distressed, Jake. Deeply. I slammed the laptop shut, heart pounding like a stampede. Disposition authority? I'd skimmed that boilerplate crap, figured it was legalese for we help if you're broke. Turns out, it was a goddamn kill switch. She'd play me like a fiddle, waiting for the ranch to falter so she could cash out. The next day, I drove to Billings, retained a shark of a lawyer named Ruiz, ex-prosecutor with a grudge against corporate vultures. He poured over the docs, whistling low. This is ugly, Harlan. She's got you by the short hairs. But there's a window. Fraudulent inducement, maybe, if we can prove she hid the sale talks. Prove it? I tore the ranch apart. Old emails, deleted files on the shared drive, even Sweet Talker assistant during a supply run to Denver. Bingo. A chain from 6 months back, Karen to her board. Harlan's on the ropes. Push the drought narrative. Accelerate the flip. Projecté droit, 300%. And attached, a draft sales agreement, dated before our last friendly visit. Rage boiled up, hot as branding iron. But Ruiz warned. Lawsuit could drag years. Bankrupt me first. You want justice or revenge, Jake? Justice was a pipe dream. Revenge? That I could taste bitter and sweet on my tongue. I started small, testing waters. Posted anonymous tips to AG forums. Ranchers United, that Facebook group for grizzled vets swapping war stories. Whitaker Enterprises, wolves in sheep's clothing, shared snippets, redacted just enough. Likes trickled in, then comments. Knew a guy in Wyoming, same play. Lost his spread to condos. Karen Whitaker? That HOA tyrant? Heard she sued her neighbor over a bird feeder. Turns out, her rep preceded her. Back in Denver, she'd shared her gated community's HOA infamous for fining widows over aesthetic violations, while her own McMansion sported a rusted swing set from her brat's glory days. The posts went viral in niche circles, thousands of shares, ranchers from Texas to Idaho piling on. Karen's PR flax scrambled, issuing denials, baseless rumors. Whitaker values partnerships, but the damage stuck like burrs on wool. Her stock dipped 2% overnight. Peanuts to Wall Street, but to her ego, nuclear. Emboldened, I went bigger. Hired a PI, ex-FBI with a nose for dirt. 2 weeks later, dossiers landed. Karen skeletons, rattling loud. Extramarital flings with junior execs. Payouts to keep M quiet. Tax dodges via offshore shells. And the kicker, her philanthropy arm, funneling ranch donations to her pet causes while skimping on worker comp for injured hands. One photo sealed it. Her at a gala, arm in arm with a senator, the same one who'd fast-tracked eminent domain on a competitor's land. I didn't rush. Revenge is a slow roast, not a microwave zap. Instead, I played the long game, embedding myself deeper. Called her bluff. Let's renegotiate, Karen. Or I walk. She bit, flying up for a summit at the ranch house, my turf. Over ribeyes and bourbon, hers virgin, mine double. I laid it on thick, loyal partner, ready to expand. She bought it, hook and sinker, outlining her vision, subdivide 2,000 acres for an eco-resort, her baby. I nodded, smiled, signed a new MOU. Inside, I was carving her epitaph. That night, alone in the study, I fired up the shredder. Not for docs, for the metaphorical burial. Dug out back, under the stars, interring a mock deed scrawled with her name. Symbolic? Hell yes. Cathartic? You bet. By morning, phase 2 kicked off. The real fun started when I leaked the gala photo to a podcast buddy, tucked from Dirt Road Dispatch, a gravel-voiced ex-rodeo clown who'd built a following ranting about Big AG. Ever wonder why your steak costs an arm and a leg? He'd boom into mics. I slipped him the file anonymously. Check this. Whitaker's schmoozing for favors while bleeding family farms dry. Tuck bit hard, dropping an episode that racked up 50K downloads in 48 hours. Folks, this ain't just business. It's betrayal with a side of bourbon, he drawled, painting Karen as the villain in a John Grisham novel. The backlash hit like a Nor'wester. Twitter, X, lit up. Karen kills ranches trending in rural feeds. Memes proliferated. Her face photoshopped onto a wolf devouring a lamb labeled small farmer. One gem showed her as a bloated HOA enforcer, ticket book in hand, citing a cowboy for unauthorized spurs. Comments poured in, raw and righteous. Sold my pa's orchard to her outfit. Now it's a strip mall. Burn it down. She's the reason I can't afford to stay on the land. God bless revenge. Karen's feeds? Crickets at first, then a meltdown. Snippy retorts from her account, at K. Whitaker exec. Slanderous lies from sore losers. We build futures. Backlash doubled down. Lady, futures? You mean foreclosures? She called me frantic, voice pitching high like a spooked filly. Jake, what the hell is this? Your fingerprints are all over it. I play dumb, drawl thick as molasses. Karen, ma'am, I wouldn't know a tweet from a twit. But if folks are talking, maybe there's fire where there's smoke. She sputtered, threats bubbling. Sue for defamation, pull funding. I hung up laughing, already dialing Ruiz. File the countersuit. Breach of good faith. Court dates loomed, but I wasn't waiting on judges in black robes. Next move, the human element. Karen had a soft spot, or a hard obsession, with her image. Board meetings streamed live on LinkedIn. Her shtick all-empowerment TED Talks. Women in AG, from seed to CEO. I crashed one virtually, mic unmuted during Q&A. Ms. Whitaker, how do you sleep knowing you've gutted families like mine for a quick buck? Gasps echoed through the chat. She froze, pixels paling before barking. Next question. But the clip? Gold. Circulated faster than gossip at a branding. Her world unraveled thread by thread. Investors pulled back, whispers of reputational risk. A Denver Post expose dropped, courtesy of my PI's breadcrumbs. Whitaker Empire of exploitation, detailed the tax havens, the affairs, redacted names, but her inner circle squirmed. She lawyered up harder, firing off cease and desist like confetti. One landed on my doorstep, certified mail, demanding I cease all defamatory activities. I framed it in the bunkhouse, right next to Dad's old Spurs. But the ranch? Still hers to hawk. The hedge fund deal inched forward, $45 million, pocket change to them, Armageddon to me. I needed to torch it from the inside. That's when I went nuclear. Allies. Ranchers aren't lone wolves. We're a pack when cornered. I rallied the Montana Farm Bureau, that old boys club in Helena, with a pitch straight from the gut. Whitaker's coming for us all. Today it's my 12,000 acres. Tomorrow yours. They bit. Lobby day on the Hill, senators buttonholed over coffee. One, a grizzled vet from Bozeman, texted me, told them about your spread. They're drafting a bill. Transparency in AG partnerships. Karen felt the squeeze. Another Zoom, this one stormy. Her backdrop, a rain-lashed window fitting. Jake, this ends now. Sign over full control, or I bury you in court. Her face loomed, sweat beading on that powdered forehead, chins wobbling with fury. Bury me? Darlin', I'm already 6 feet under thanks to you. But watch your back. Dirt's soft out here. I hung up, adrenaline surging, and hit the road. Drove south to Denver, incognito in a beater truck, checking into a Fleabag motel off I-25. Stakeout. Whitaker HQ, that gleaming monolith of glass and greed. Her Benz pulled up at 7 a.m., her waddling out like she owned the dawn. I tailed her to a coffee clatch, networking brunch with local bigwigs. Slipped in as maintenance, ear to the wall. Overheard Gold, her griping to a developer pal, Harlan's a pest. Once the ranch flips, I'll crush him like a bug. Crush me? Nah. I recorded it, tiny recorder in my boot, voice clear as a bell. Uploaded anonymously to a whistleblower's site, tagged with her name. By noon, it was podcast fodder, newsroom catnip. CEO caught on hot mic. crush the farmer. Outrage erupted. National Now, CNN pickup, corporate bullying in the heartland. Protests sprouted outside her office. Rancher types in Carhartts, signs reading, "Hands off our land," and Karen's karma coming. She cracked then, I could feel it. A frantic voicemail at midnight. "Jake, please. Meet me. Neutral ground. We can settle." Neutral ground. A roadside diner off 287, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees. She slid into the booth opposite, power suit rumpled, eyes red-rimmed. No kale this time, just black coffee steaming. "What do you want? Money? Equity back." I leaned in, fork spearing a piece of pie I didn't eat. "Justice, Karen. You sold my soul for a commission. Now watch yours auction off." Her laugh was brittle, forced. "You're bluffing. This is personal. I built this company. Built it on backs like mine." I slid a USB across the Formica. Every leak, every file compiled neat. One click, and it's Armageddon. Rescind the sale. Public apology. Or I hit send. She snatched it, nails like talons, face twisting into that infamous scowl. The one that screamed entitlement, the Karen glare perfected. "You hillbilly hack. I'll ruin you." But her voice wavered, bluff called. I stood, tossing a 20 on the table. "Try it. But remember, out here, we don't ruin, we reclaim." Driving north, radio crackling with updates. Deal stalled, board in emergency session. Sweet symphony. Back home, I gather the hands. Lopez, the old vaquero who'd taught me roping. Sarah, the vet tech with a mean right hook, for a bonfire powwow. Stories swapped, beers cracked. "Patron," Lopez said, firelight dancing on his mustache. "This Whitaker? Like the Bruja in that folk tale, greedy which devours the land." We laughed, but I felt the weight. Revenge wasn't clean, it scarred. Sleep came fitful, dreams of Dad's ghost nodding approval. Dawn brought escalation. Karen's counter-move, a smear campaign. Anonymous posts hit AG boards. Harlan's unstable, threatened violence. Attached, doctored email from me, ranting unhinged. Goo. But I'd anticipated, watermarked originals proved a fake. Ruiz Fireback, Slander Sud, 10,000 pesos damages. The media frenzy peaked. 60-minute segment, me in flannel against a sunset barn, voice steady. She didn't just sell my ranch, she sold the American way. Views exploded, millions. Whitaker's stock tanked 15%, her face on every feed, that unlikable mugging for mercy. But she wasn't done fighting dirty. Fall turned to winter, Montana's grip tightening like a noose, snow blanketing the pastures, wind howling elegies for the betrayed. I hunkered down, fortifying. Solar panels I'd installed pre-Whitaker hummed against blackouts. Root cellar stocked with jerky and beans. Isolation bred clarity. This wasn't just about the ranch anymore. It was war on the Karen archetype, the entitled overlord who'd never tasted callous or consequence. Her next play was insidious, divide and conquer. She poached my hands with offers, double pay to jump ship, consult on the resort build. Lopez held, loyal as the Rockies. Sarah flipped, tempted by maternity, leave perks Whitaker dangled. Betrayal stung fresh, over coffee. She confessed, tears in her eyes. "Jake, it's the baby. I can't risk it." I nodded, hid the hurt. "Go. But remember who fed your horses first." Word spread, morale dipped. I countered with town hall, big timber community center, folding chairs, scraping linoleum. 50 souls showed. Neighbors, suppliers, even the diner waitress who'd comped my pie. "This ranch is ours," I said, map unrolled like a battle plan. "Whitaker wants to pave paradise. We say no." Donations trickled, seed money for legal, crowdfunding for fences. A viral GoFundMe. Save Willow Creek, from CEO to community. Hit $200,000 in a week. Strangers from Seattle to Savannah chipping in. Screw corporate Karens. Karen seethed, I imagine, her empire eroding like bad soil. Leaks from insiders, my PI's network deepening, painted panic, board ousting whispers, her yelling at underlings till voices cracked. One email chain, forwarded blind. Harlan's turning this into a circus. Shut it down. Any means. Any means? That chilled. Beef security, motion cams, Ruiz on speed dial. Then the gut punch. Valentine's Day blizzard, 24. Power out, 3 days. Calves freezing in the loafing shed. I shoveled till my back screamed, hauling hay by headlamp. Phone buzzed mid-storm. Karen, of all people. Jake, heard about the weather. Sending a chopper with supplies. Hero play? Nah. Strings attached. Photo op. Her branding on the crates. I refused. Voice hoarse. Keep your pity. We survive without you. But survival's thin margin. Calves lost. 12, each a knife twist. Ruiz called post-thaw. Good news. Judge grants injunction. Sale frozen, pending hearing. Elation surged, short-lived. Karen's response? Full court press. Hired a crisis firm. Spin doctors who'd rehabbed worse. Oil spills, celeb meltdowns. Billboards popped along. I-90, Whitaker, partners in progress. TV spots. Her in flannel. Ironic. Cooing, we're family. Family? I laughed till it hurt. Retaliated with truth bombs. Deposition clips leaked. Her under oath squirming. I may have accelerated the process. May have. The public smell blood. Protests swelled. Denver now. Her gala crashed by activists in overalls, chanting Karen quits. One viral vid. Her shoving a sign away. Face contorted in rage. Jowls flapping. Caption. When the HOA hits the fan. Her personal life imploded too. Affairs surfaced. Tabloid splash. AG Queen's secret squires. Hubby filed, citing irreconcilable greed. Kids distanced, LinkedIn ghosts. She lashed out, subpoenaing my life. Bank records, exes, even dad's probate. Found nothing. I'm an open book, clean as fresh snow. Spring broke gentle, calves frisking in greening fields. Hearing loomed. Missoula Federal Court, wood-paneled gravity. I took the stand, suit itchy, voice steady. Your Honor, she didn't partner, she prayed. Exhibits flashed. Emails, the hot mic, stock dips tied to leaks. Karen testified next, perched like a toad on a log, voice quavering. He's obsessed. Harassing my good name. Judge's eyes narrowed, skeptical. Verdict dropped May 1st. Injunction permanent, sale voided, damages awarded. $8 million punitive. Her equity clawed back. Courtroom erupted. Hugs from strangers, tears I blinked away. Outside, press mobbed. Jake Harlan, the rancher's revenge. Karen slunk outside door, flanked by suits, face a mask of fury. But victory's Pyrrhic. Ranch healed slow. Fences mended. Herds rebuilt on GoFundMe bucks. Media faded. Life resumed, quieter. I dated a bit. Barista from Livingston, easy laugh, but trust. Shattered glass. Karen? Faded to footnote. Company rebranded sans her. Board coup, golden parachute popped. Last I heard, she's in Florida, chairing a condo, HOA finding snowbirds over towel colors. Bitter? Yeah. Poetic. Yet the real revenge? Waking daily to my land. Unchained. No more shadows. Wait, no. That's the lie we tell. Truth is, she circled back. Summer 24 baked the valley gold. Wildflowers rioting along fence lines I'd reclaimed inch by inch. Willow Creek breathed free. Tours booked solid. Beef in high-end markets, sans Whitaker markup. I even hired Sarah back. No grudges. Baby's coos echoed in the bunkhouse. Life patched itself, threadbare but whole. Until the letter arrived. Cream envelope postmarked Boca Raton. Her looping script like spiderwebs. Jake, water under the bridge? Let's talk legacy. Meet me. One last deal. Enclosed. Plane ticket, first class to Miami. Bait? Or desperation? Curiosity gnawed. Plus, Ruiz greenlit. Get it on tape. Extortion gold. I flew south, humidity slapping like wet dish rag. She waited at a harborside bistro. Slim some, Botox taut, but that scowl? Etched permanent. You look rustic, she said, air-kissing cheeks. Over conch ceviche, she pitched, buyout redux, her consulting on a joint venture. Eco-luxury. her vision sanitized. Why now? I probed, recorder whirring silent in my pocket. She leaned in, breath fishy sweet. Because you won, Jake. But winning's lonely. And I missed the game. Lies. Her eyes darted, calculating still. I played along, toasting new beginnings. Back at her condo, ocean view, marble sterile. She poured scotch neat. Truth? I'm broke. Divorce cleaned me. Boards suing for malfeasance. You ruined me. Voice cracked. First real emotion. Rage laced with regret? Ruined? You started it, Karen. Sold my world for a bonus. She laughed hollow. World? It was land. Dirt. I built empires. But tears welled, mascara rivers. You don't get it. Daddy's shadow, always chasing. Now nothing. Pity flickered, unbidden. But revenge? Insatiable. Empires fall. Like yours. She snapped then, Karen unleashed. You hillbilly? I'll expose you, every dirty secret. That anonymous crap? Traced to your IP. Lawsuits incoming. Bankrupt you proper. Bluff or bomb? I stood calm. Try. But here's mine. Hit play on the phone. Her confession raw. Admit it. All for greed. Face crumpled. Defeat dawning. What now? Jail. Nah. Worse. Walked out, deleting the ticket app en route to the airport. Uploaded the tape. Not full. Edited tease to X. The Queen confesses. Ranch revenge. Epilogue. Views detonated. Millions overnight. Her world? Imploded final. By fall, headlines screamed. Fallen CEO from boardroom to breadline. Lawsuits piled. SEC probes. Class actions from shafted ranchers. She vanished. Rumors of a trailer park exile. Clipping coupons. Haunting Walmarts like any deposed despot. Bitter end? Cayenne on the tongue. No jail. No mercy. Just irrelevance. The Karen curse. Me? Ranch thrives. 12,000 acres eternal under Harlan skies. Dad's ghost smiles in the wind. Revenge? Tasted sweet, soured slow. But worth it? Every shovelful. Epilogue whispers. In big sky, we don't forget. We endure.